Okay, so good evening, everyone, to this practice radiology webinar. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a conversation. And the conversation is always two-way. So I'd love to have all of you on camera, at least, if possible. And there are not that many of us. I think there were 30 people registered, but I think many of them probably going to watch on record or something. But a conversation. Uh, is much more interesting than just me didactically telling you stuff. So first of all, let me, David, you'd like to introduce yourself? I think other people know me. I'm a consultant radiologist. I work for a couple of teleradiology companies. I used to work for five. I've dropped it down to two just because I'm getting more into lifestyle than less is more kind of concept. And but I also run a program called Practice Radiology, and the what people know me for is probably Revised Radiology. So that's me. I'm also trained as a coach, and yeah, David is a good
Yeah,
friend of mine.
thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Koshi. Yes, very privileged to be your friend and to our paths have crossed on many levels, Koshi. But my background is actually in lean manufacturing, process optimization, and our worlds have merged through the world of practice, radiology, and optimizing processes. And likewise, I am a practicing coach, and I work with Koshi with his team to improve performance, and it's been wonderful doing this practice radiology journey, which has meant that we've really challenged what is a normal lifestyle for a radiologist, Koshi. So I think
Yeah.
looking forward to this call.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so we're talking about choice. Well, there's a book coming out called Choice, probably end of this month, probably early next month to be. It's completely written up, but we're actually editing it a bit and reducing it down because we feel that it's just too much information, and we want people to get to the end of the book. So it's hopefully around 200 pages of absolutely amazing content. Um, so what is choice? It's about having a sustained and fulfilled career, transitioning from potential or real back burnout to professional growth and lasting satisfaction. Fulfillment is a term we use in coaching. It's also about optimizing your workflows, both in terms of radiology, but also in terms of life and maximizing efficiency and thereby reducing your daily stress and making life a lot more enjoyable. Um, and in order to achieve that, you often need multiple income streams. I heard about this back in 2008 when about having, and I really got sort of gripped about the concept that to really get financial independence, you need to have multiple income streams of income. And for me, that has been property, a bit of business, and a bit of stock trading or whatever, stocks and shares and that kind of. So you have a very broad base of thing. And some of that I've learned myself, and some of it, like stocks and shares, I know very little about it. I just give it to someone else. But it's about those income streams. Um, let's now go to what is the dilemma for a radiologist? So first of all, you guys are all highly intelligent, the cream of the cream, if you think, because radiology is one of the hardest specialties to get into. But the workload has been increasing. When I joined radiology, it was really a lot about lifestyle and being in control of your own sort of work environment and time, but there has been unsustainable workloads, and that's partly because of the pressure from the NHS. So I say industry pressures, but it's actually the patient, the growth of just population and the need for more imaging, and it's led to long hours. You all know that it's not been proportionally compensated. So many of us have sort of moved into the teleradiology world, where even though where you're paid for everything you do, however, you're not very paid very well. So in order to catch up, a lot of teleradiologists and radiologists are working very long hours, and there's an epidemic generally in medicine of exhaustion and professional dissatisfaction. And that leads to, together with the sort of the loss of value of pension schemes, essentially genuine wealth creation and financial independence is a dream for most people. But with the right kind of guidance and the right kind of practice, you can change everything. So let me show you what is possible. Okay, so I'm going to go straight into it. We're not going to waste time talking about what you need, kind of, but just go straight in the content. And in my view, the way to get efficient, and Vinay knows this. He came to a course that Southwest FRCR course, and we started talking. And he, as a registrar, he wanted to. I think that's right, Vinay. You wanted to do some reporting, and we talked about templates, which I had started in 2010. I'd started working, and essentially what had happened, and this is all written up in my book, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but we needed more cash. I was £1,000 less per month than I was earning, and we needed to get more income in order to just stay afloat. But also, when my daughter came to needing secondary school, I needed to create more income in order to send it to a private school, and that's what got me into teleradiology. I was doing that alongside my NHS practice. And I realized quite quickly that at £13 a scan, which is what you used to get, you're not going to earn a lot if you do 4 scans an hour or 3 scans an hour. So you need to learn how to become more efficient. And I started looking at my practice, started looking at what was slowing me down. And often it was the fact that I had to just keep repeating the same phrases, the same thing again and again and again. So you have to have templates. Okay, that's my view. There are lots of people who disagree and continue to report. Where there is no pressure, why not? If you're paid per hour, it doesn't really matter. But if you're paid per item of productivity or the thing that you have to, then it becomes more useful. And so what I started doing was I started spending 15 minutes a scan. Okay, that's how I started. But over time, by adding in templates and adding in identifying the repeated phrases, I started creating these standard templates. And now I've got over 500 templates, and I have a system by which I remember them. And so it takes me milliseconds to pull out a template. But by standardizing and saving those into your PAC system or onto your RIS system, really, or into your report Dragon or whatever, you can save, I reckon, 3 to 5 minutes per scan, just by doing that. Just because, and then you start becoming better at what you do. You start learning more, you start becoming better, and slowly over time, you will start reporting faster. And there was a time that I was reporting a scan every couple of a minute, 2 minutes. Now I've kind of slowed down a little bit, age maybe, or just being relaxed a bit. I do a scan one every 2 minutes is roughly my kind of volume at the moment. But it does mean that you can do a lot. It is high pressure work, but pretty it's pretty focused, and then you're done. Okay. So when I say an average of 2 minutes, some take a little bit more, some take less. You will see lumbar spines that are absolutely normal, and and then those are the ones you worry about, because that's when you could miss that renal tumor on the scout scan. So you need to just look for those. But the basic scan, you've identified straight away that it's normal. So you just knock it off in 30 seconds, 1 minute, and you have the template, it's sorted. The key is trying to get your templates for abnormal stuff. So my homework for you guys, some of you already do this. I'm not going to, you know, can say that, but write one, but there's always something that you haven't done. So write one complete normal template before bed and use it tomorrow. Okay, that's tonight's homework. You still have a few hours. Okay, let's just go to the next slide. Okay, so build up your phrase code system. And some of you do this and document 10 common abnormalities as phrase codes. Okay, now I've got much more than 10, but you build it up over time. And this is where the principle of the slight edge comes in, which is a consistent action done consistently over time leads to results. Okay, exponential growth. You start adding every day or every 2 days for the first month or two. You add one template. When you start noticing you're repeating yourself, do a template. For example, there is a right paracentral disc protrusion at the L4/5 level, resulting in right L5 nerve root compression in the right lateral recess. Make that into a phrase code. Then tomorrow you could, I mean, straight away you could do the left one and call it left paracentral disc protrusion. You could make an L3/4 level. And my suggestion is to start L1/2 with dictaphone, whatever you want to say, right paracentral one. And one starts at 1, 2, and then you just go down up to 5, 6, 5 S1. So that's just an idea. Same thing with knees. You can do meniscal, you can do different types of meniscal tears. Just do one every day or every few days, and by without knowing it, you'd have built up your phrase codes. Okay. Identify the findings, create your triggers, um, and integrate and save them. And obviously, now we've got an advantage that I didn't have. If I was in today's world trying to make templates, I would just ask ChatGPT or Perplexity to make me a list of templates or phrase codes, and it'll do it in seconds. So, and it will reduce your typing significantly. So this week's target for you: create 10 phrase codes, add 5 more every week, unless you have 50. Okay. So here's some great value for you guys. I don't believe in holding back. I believe in giving you everything that's possible. The other thing is, when you're reporting, if possible, I suggest that you report that you report in batches. Now, it's not always possible, especially with companies like Hexarad and some of those ones. They do not let you choose your thing. You have to go at it at the same, basically based on KPIs. So you just have, but if you can arrange it according to spines, knees, shoulders, ankles, hips, then just do it like that, because you get into a groove, if you like, of reporting, and your brain stays in that mode, and the speed slowly, as you start seeing things regularly, you start seeing, okay, this is a pattern that I can make into a template. So my recommendation here is make it a plan for the weekend. I say tomorrow, but I say weekend. Make a plan for just right knees. And why do I say right knee? Because when you make a report, if you have one for the right knee and the left knee, then the left knee report can be slightly different to the right knee report. It just means the next time a hospital sees two reports of yours, one after the other, one is a right and the other one is a left, and if they look exactly the same, I can tell you from experience, they will query it and they'll send you a message saying, did you even look at the scan? Okay. Whereas if they're different, then over you never get that complaint. So I never get complaints about, did you look at the scan? I know I looked at it, but are they convinced that you've looked at it? And I would recommend tracking your speed. And in the practice radiology program, we always show people how to do this. We have a full tracker which we give our the members. Sorry.
Carry on.
Yeah. So yeah, we give, and you will start seeing savings over time. Okay. And you just need to be consistent, take action, get feedback, and you learn through feedback. And I'm going to say this, and then you assess your weekly progress and adjust your approach. And you after 7 days, just acknowledge your efforts. What have I achieved? I've created these many templates. I prepared a report. And then I would say, if you'd like to be held accountable, write to us info saying what worked well? What challenges did you face? And critically, I'd like to know how much time you saved. And I will personally review your submission and respond with some next steps. Okay. Right. So that's templates. Now, I want to just tell you about discrepancy prevention because this is incredibly important in teleradiology, even more than the NHS, because for two reasons. One is that your reputation depends on it. If you get the reputation of being a poor reporter, being callous, being speedy, it really does affect you. I mean, and to start with, it is possible that your discrepancies could be high, but I would really, really plead with you guys, don't go faster just to save time. Make sure it's your templates that are faster, not your thinking and not your looking at scans. Make sure you're completely satisfied, but only just satisfied. Don't keep looking at the same thing again and again and again because you're fear. If you see the tear, you mention it. Just like in the FRCR exam, once you see your abnormality, you mention it and you move on. You don't have to look again. You've seen it, move on to the next structure. Okay. So review and keep learning from discrepancies. I know it's a painful way to learn, but it is a way to learn. So learn from your discrepancies. Look at what's the type of misses I'm making. Is it the same anatomical area? Is it things that I'm missing in scouts, for example? Am I missing bone metastases on a CT? Then you need to have a strategy in place. Now we are moving into a space where AI is going to do a huge amount for us in terms of picking up stuff that we would otherwise miss. However, what it's going to do is overcall a huge amount of things. So in one way, while I'm showing you all these things, AI is probably going to slow you down a bit, and I'm getting ready for that. That I'm going to be seeing more things, or I'm going to be pointed to more things than is actually important, and I'll have to either decide to cut down the report or just leave it as it is. And yeah, it's a better report, but it's not the kind of report that orthopedics want. They're going to have to live with it because that's the world we're going into. And so I think AI will slow us down. I don't think AI will increase it, and I definitely don't believe AI will take our jobs. So forget about that whole thing. And I just want to say this is something that I did recently, which is I noticed that I was reporting disc bulges on my templates, on my phrase codes, and I noticed there were facet joint changes as well because degenerative, if a person has a disc, they're usually older, they have facet joint change as well. Why not mention it? Because some clever or some, picky auditor is going to say you didn't mention the facet joint osteoarthrosis. Why not mention it and just there's disc, there's a disc bulge and facet joint degenerative change. So I'm just giving an example, and just make sure that if it's a young person, remove the facet joint degenerative change because it just makes you have egg on my face. So what I do when I report is I'm consciously looking. I know my templates inside out. So I know that even unconsciously, like you're driving, I know that my templates has facet joint degenerative change on it. So when I see a young patient, I straight away know I should take it off. It's just reflex now. So um, and so that's the kind of thing. For example, why not mention the small effusions? Because if you don't mention it, they point it out. And it's sad, but a lot of auditors, and we report, in a way, I report a lot for my auditors because they're the ones who make it's not the patients or the hospitals that make life miserable. It's the auditors who pick things up. And I am very good now at challenging them. And about 80% of the time, I'm right. And it gets, cancelled or whatever. But you have to get to that stage. I've been doing this now for 15 years, teleradiology, and I've done over 300 to 350,000 scans. So, and I've focused it down to a certain type of scans. So over time, you're going to get good at it. So, um, so find if you find something in more than 80% of cases, for example, popliteal cysts where there's a meniscal tear, it's almost always there. It's always there. There's always a popliteal cyst. So why not say there's a small popliteal cyst and just highlight the word and make it moderate or large when you have to. When it's large, call it large, but at least the word is there. And the worst they can say if you forget to say moderate or large is I think it's a large one. Well, okay, I agree. But it's not a big discrepancy. But it makes you look like someone who's got attention to detail, and you do. We are all. I mean, many of you have done fellowships, and you're good at what you do. So that's what I wanted to talk about as a sort of and I want to really encourage now a sort of conversation about your questions and what you would like to anything. So I'm just going to quickly, before we get into the questions, I'm just going to tell you about the choice framework solution. And this is the practice radiology program, which we are now calling the choice program. First of all, what we do is we have a program to get you to reporting mastery. Now, you can go away, read my book, follow what I've said, and you might be able to, and you should be able to create a system, get productive, and all that. But there are things that I cannot completely explain in 20 minutes. There's a lot more to it. It's years of learning. So we will go through that in the reporting mastery. Property investment. So normally people pay, I think, Simon Zucchi's program, which is the property mastermind, very good program. It costs about £25,000. But we know, because I've attended it, that a lot of the stuff they teach, you guys are never going to do. We're never going to do. We're never going to go around dropping leaflets and needing to learn how to drop leaflets and how to create your advert and all that kind of stuff, because we are too busy. It's much better for us to earn 500 to 700 pounds an hour doing ad reporting and give that job to someone else. However, you need to know something about property investment. So you need to know the essentials and you need to start doing. And some of you have done, I know some of you are much more successful than I am in property investment. And we will show you how to do that, how to leverage your radiology income to get assets, both in terms of property and stocks and shares, and also a little bit around business, how to build up a business. And the other thing is community, and we have a fantastic community of radiologists. So what we've found is that some members in the last cohort, which was last year, this year we've kind of taken a break because we just wanted to take sort of take stock, and we saw our members increasing their number of scans from 300 to 1,200. Almost, oh well, everyone doubled their efficiency. Some tripled it and some quadrupled it. And we really did make a difference. So what we've decided to do for next year, for 2024, is to run it slightly differently. We we know that people who are focused can take action and get started. There's enough I can show sort of the full system. I usually take about 4 to 5 hours to do this, and that's what we intend to do on the Quick Start full day workshop, on which we are going to run on the 9th of January. I'm going to run it on site, and that's what's different. I absolutely enjoyed last year doing it online. There's no doubt about it. But it was a bit hard to every Tuesday to give up my time. I'm just being honest here. and David too. We have to give up every Tuesday evening for a call. And I felt that maybe if we had had a face to face where we could show literally while you're my reporting and the way I do it, and then that would have made things even quicker for most of them. So we're going to run a quick start, and the price of that is there, 997 plus VAT, 1 day workshop. You can claim it from your hospital, I'm sure, as study leave, and those of you who work for a teleradiology company will have a study leave budget as well as in the hospital. We will call it a quick start reporting mastery. So it is CP, it will have CPD attached to it, probably six. And for anyone who wants to sign up, it's we're giving an early bird up to the 31st of October at 797 plus VAT. So but I'm going to now hand over to and what if you're interested, I'm not going to do any sort of big sort of sign up now or anything. Just write to us and we'll send you an invoice. Just tell us, and if you send it to us before the 31st of October, we'll send you an invoice for 797 plus VAT, and if it's after, it'll be 997 plus VAT. And essentially, we will go through the whole reporting mastery system that I show people, which I charge £3,000 plus VAT to do one to one. Okay, and people have signed up to that, and have done it, but because it's a group, I I I can, it's a group thing, um, and that's why we're charging less. Okay. Um, just write to us at info@practiceradiology.com. If you want to refresh, if you want a refresher also, it could be quite good. There will always be things that we learn. Now, I have learned a huge amount from my colleagues. I have an amazing setup here in front of me with specialized keyboards, mice, shortcut makers. What else do I have? And all this
Treadmill.
treadmill. Well, I've been doing that since 2010. But and I've got a system that I essentially we got together with the rest of the team, different people in the team, Imran Lasker, and there was a guy called Mohammed. They all had great ideas on how to become even more things. So as a community, we're going to learn stuff as well, and I'm going to invite many of them to come, some of our initial cohort, to that 1 day workshop to give their expertise. Now I'll hand over to David. That's really all my presentation. But David, over to you now about the coaching session and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I was just thank you, Koshi. I was just going to add to that point is that it's so much about the community you keep. And someone once said, tell me who your community is, and I'll tell you your future. So if you surround yourself with people who are really want to take things to the next level, have more choice, then you want to spend time with those kind of people that will shape the way you think and the way you do things. And absolutely, I've seen the group really synergistically work together. So and Kosha, you've got so much back from investing in that community as well. So you're everyone is a winner. What we also know is that with all the best intentions, life is very busy. We have a lot of inertia. We can get stuck in ruts. So what I bring to the team is the coaching element, which is that ability to challenge what you're doing and to hold people accountable for the changes they want to make in their lives. And that is absolutely essential. So we find the two together works really well. So I think the quick start gives you a good foundation, and then the community will keep you accountable to follow through and
Yeah,
to get the wins which you want. It's
yeah,
this is practice. It's not a magic. It's not. There's
yeah.
no magic here. So we need each
Yeah,
other
and
to
I'll
to
tell
do
you
that.
what the community, for those who attend, the community is not expensive. I think it's only 147 pounds per month, and you get the benefit of the whole community. And we're going to keep improving this. And we're thinking soon to run all kinds of stuff, including maybe some kind of specialized reporting modules on like a mini fellowship for how to report spines quickly, but show you everything, but also specifically uh, both because in most conferences, I went to a conference recently in Greece and it was very good. They show you they show you about they give you a 20-minute lecture about meniscal tears and you leave thinking I've learned something, but I don't know if I've learned everything. And you want to feel at the end of your of a course or whatever it is that you know everything and you also have a template that you can then use in life. So I actually sat during the session and rather than trying to learn new stuff, I used it as an opportunity to create some new templates for myself, which would speed me up, from the ideas that they said. So that's the kind of stuff I'm saying. Go to conferences and learn from those. Ah, Puneet is coming. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So should we open up to questions, Koshi? Let's see how
Yes,
people are
let's open
reacting
up
to
to
this.
question. Yeah.
Willem, I know your time is short. Have you got any questions you wanna?
Hi, Puneet.
Head off.
Good.
Thank you guys so much.
I got,
Thank you, Willem.
sorry,
Yeah.
I had a work meeting, but I thought
Yeah.
I would come here and join the
Yeah.
conversation.
I'll catch the
Yeah.
rest of the recording and we'll be in touch. Thank you guys so much.
Okay,
Thank you,
Willem, that's
Willem. Great,
fine.
great to
Yes.
see you. Good success.
So I'd love to have some more cameras on. And Puneet, we've just finished the presentation, and now what I did was show people how to. Puneet is a professor a professor, right, or assistant professor? I'm
Yes,
not sure. In
Professor, yes.
Washington University in Seattle, and he's part of our program. Actually, he teaches. He's a consultant radiologist, but he's also a specialist
He's
at
on fire. He's
he's
on
on
fire.
fire.
Okay, yeah.
he he is
Financially independent, retire
financial
early.
independence
Okay,
in
Yeah,
a
yes,
stock market way. Yeah.
yes.
yeah, it's all right.
Only because it's the need of the hour. But uh, I have read most of your book, Koshi, and I think you know I had a couple of thoughts. Should I just share them,
Yeah,
or do you
sure.
have? I don't want to take away from anybody's questions, or
Yeah, go ahead.
questions
You
should go
share it.
first.
Share it. Okay,
Yeah,
questions first.
Hussein, any questions?
And Georgette, Dr. Agrawal, do you have any questions? No, no questions.
Okay.
Thumbs up. Okay.
Dr.
Uh,
Sakina, hi, good to see you. We just need to unmute you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was on mute. Hello. Hi, everyone.
hi.
Yeah, where
Uh,
are you calling from?
I'm calling from Southport, UK.
Okay, UK, yeah.
Yes. Actually, I always look forward to practice radiology webinars. I get some different insight every time. So this time I can relate to it more because I have recently started working in the NHS 4 months back.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. So I came from Mumbai to UK, and now I'm working in the NHS. And in these initial days, I am finding it a little difficult, to understand the functioning here, the different codes and alerts and all these things. So I'm taking a lot of time to finish my work, and I'll be honest with you. So
Yeah,
also, I have a 2-year-old at home. So I'm kind of juggling between motherhood and my career.
yeah,
So I was very much interested in your webinar, and I'm interested in the course.
yeah.
I had inquired early this year, about the course, which did not happen, as you mentioned. I'm really looking forward to your 9th Jan
Yes.
meeting, because I feel personally I need to improve my efficiency.
Yes.
I need some new ideas, because whatever amount of radiology, radiology is okay. Doing different courses, specialization is okay, but you need that coach like you, who needs to open up your mind, which I really feel is important to become more efficient. So I'm looking forward to your course, and
Yeah.
hoping to benefit from it.
Yeah, and I think you've highlighted a really important fact. The people who struggle the most, and I find the same with me. I go to a conference and I slow down. Okay, the
Mhm.
reason is that you have learned some stuff which you now need to implement. Okay, you
Yeah.
can't just go to a conference, learn about how to report a particular labral tear or whatever, labral tear or whatever it is, and not do anything about it. So you then need to do something about it. So what I do is I use that knowledge to create a template. The template then becomes my education mechanism, because the more I see it now, I'm going to report on it. And over time, you start getting better, because you're starting to see things which, okay, most of us will pick up the big things, but there will always be something new that you learn in a conference. And that's the problem with too much knowledge. People who have done fellowships seem to struggle the most. They really are slow, because they are so scared that they'll. But then you have to look at the bigger picture. What is the problem that the GP is asked you to solve? And you just need to answer that question. There is no point in looking for stuff which is never there. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
And you will, and if you've seen enough scans, you will actually see the abnormality, even though you are not looking for it, because it's just not. Like today, I looked at a scan, and within seconds, I saw something that was in the periphery, because that was not the way that my brain is looking at the whole thing, knows, even though I'm not looking at each muscle, I know that it should look like this. So when suddenly there are big cysts in the muscle, I have noticed it, even though I wasn't looking for the cyst. That's the way our radiology brain works.
Absolutely.
Puneet, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I think the more reps you put in, Sakina, like it's going to become easier. So, these years are really hard. I remember a day where I finished work and I hadn't slept the night before because our baby had colic all night. And so at 5 p.m., I had no memory of what I'd done all day. Right. And I just said, God bless these patients. And I just drove home. Right. Because what am I going to do now? Right.
Yeah.
So you have to push through these years. And the initial part of our career is much, much harder. It's a steeper climb. And moving countries and moving systems, never easy. So be kind to yourself. And if you're taking more time, that shows that you care, because you could just press the sign button and move on. And so, you're doing everything right. And as the years go by, some things get easier and then other things become more challenging, right? So life is never a piece of cake, but these are some basic building blocks of your career. These will become easy, but then you will have other fights to fight. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And what I would say, Sakina, is that you will start seeing results very quickly once you start implementing some systems.
Yeah.
Very quickly. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You've got the email, Sakina. You've got the email.
Yeah, info@practiceradiology.com.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
I got it.
Puneet, you go ahead and tell us about the
So
thoughts.
I actually had a very interesting exercise. If you, okay, so we were actually, so the thing about sustainability of your careers, right? So bringing a little bit of finance into this. So why have a long career? That's a question, right? So if you're extremely committed and radiology is your life, and you live and breathe radiology, and without radiology you'd be unfulfilled, by all means work into your 80s, right? But if you're not that person, you still should work long enough, because everything that you achieve financially in your career, the last 5 years are key, because you are going to double your net worth in the last 5 years of your career. So somebody who retires, let's say 55 versus 60 versus 65, every 5 years that you don't actually work, even if you're not saving at that point this late in your career, you're actually doubling your net worth, because you're letting your money grow without withdrawing from it. So sustainability and longevity of your career, there's multiple ways you can do this. Going part-time, doing teleradiology, Toshi, like you basically are
doing everything, try to do everything.
Yeah, you did a lot of different
burning
things,
out, yeah,
like everybody has a little bit of burnout. Like it's the, or not now, then you've experienced it,
I
or
mean,
if you haven't.
I haven't experienced burnout, but that's partly because of the systems I've got in place, to prevent it.
Yeah. So I think longevity is important, and also like like efficiency. Like I used to run the time management course at RSNA for many, many years. And I used to think like the attendees would be more like in Sakina's age group, but I found that the demographic was actually 50s and beyond were the bigger chunk, because they were the kind of people who were experiencing a little bit of aging, lots of change, newer modalities, new rules, new systems, and they were struggling to keep up, right? And life continues to remain busy. You know, if your kids aren't small, then there's other things in life that you bring in, and maybe you need to work because you haven't taken care of your money. So walking away is not an option. So these people were actually struggling. But yeah, any efficiency skill, I invest generously in software, physical products, anything and everything that would make me efficient all the time, the time. I mean, it's so worth the money. Like let's say so most softwares are $30 and beyond, right? But I'm amazed that people don't invest $30 in a software that would fix a problem for them. Because think about it, if you spend $30 and that software is saving you an hour every day, come on. It's like, it's such a bargain.
Yeah. Or AI
I mean?
agents that will check your report for you and see if there's any kind of non-cyclical. Like yesterday, I got a discrepancy. I said now evidence of inflammatory spondyloarthropathy. And I had to then get a message saying, did you mean no? Of course I meant no, but then I have to type it out and write it out and put in an email. It's a waste of time. If ChatGPT or even ChatGPT will pick that up, that it doesn't make sense.
So I will put in
and I wanted to show one little quick one for all of you. This is a Shocks, I think it's called Shocks bone conduction headphone. It has a mic, as a voice, a noise canceling mic. So if people are around me talking, I used to spend so much time looking at my report to see if all the sounds have come in. Nothing now. It just picks up what I say and nothing else. It's incredible. So simple tips like that, you need to start practicing. There's loads that we'll show you.
Yeah, and so like Alfred is an app that has a text expander built in, and you can research it. But basically, what it is that anything that you do repeatedly, right? You can do it with a click of by putting in a snippet, and it's so worth your time. Like I can actually demo it for you. Like let me. So let's say somebody is saying, like for example, like somebody says, "Oh, can you send me your pager number?" So look at this. PB is my initial, and I type pager, and it types out the sentence, right? And it can be long things also, like directions to my office.
Wow.
Right? Now think about, and my signature. See that? Like, so whatever you do repeatedly, and you can do radiology stuff in this too, right? So you can say, every time I have a labral tear, what are you going to say, right? Well, go see an orthopedic surgeon, whatever, right? Whatever is your guidelines, right? You can do this.
I hope you're okay with showing your address and how to get to you. I hope we are all in a
This is actually my old office address. So
okay,
yes.
so that's fine. So you can confuse them.
Time to update your template. Okay.
It's good.
but that was the longest template, but that's what I'm showing you.
Which one was that? Was that Alfred or
Alfred?
Alfred.
That's
Alfred. Yeah, okay.
And then also like the one product that I found amazing that helped me is, I'm just pulling it up. Carpio. Like, let me show you what that is. Like, if you've never,
brilliant.
It's so this basically this little bow tie like thing. It goes below your thenar and hypothenar eminence. It doesn't get stuck to it, but it's just sitting there. And if you put in a nice mat, your hand is actually gliding. And it takes about a week or two to just get used to it, because your you haven't built muscle memory yet, and you may not like it the first day or two. But once you're week 3, oh my God, this is magic. Because every time you're moving your hand, you're like dragging. If your skin is like rubbing against the table, it's really hard on these forearm muscles. And then this is like gliding, right? So you can just kind of glide. And so this is like a little thing, but it really helps my wrist.
Yeah, and you can get it in the UK as well for 65 quid.
Yep.
But if 65 quid can stop you from getting RSI, you're saving hundreds of thousands potentially over a period of 2 years. So, and I just want to say, to earn 300 to 400,000 pounds on teleradiology is very, very achievable, very achievable. And I work 2.5. My average is 2.5 hours a day, and I do very well with that. You can do the sums yourself based on what I said during the webinar, but it is very, very possible to get very good very quickly and still have a very good quality of life.
So what's your final message, Koshi?
Yeah, but you were going to say about Puneet was just going to make a comment about the book. So we are, just to say, Puneet, we are cutting down the book a little bit because we feel it's too long. And we are cutting it down a little bit because we want people to get to the end of the book. It's too long.
Yes.
So we are cutting it down. We might release bits of it, like the property section. We're going to drop it down to 1 chapter. And so that's why there's a delay now in releasing the book, because it's just too much content over life. I wanted to give everyone everything away, but I feel it's too much. So
yeah, I think the big thing though is that what the take-home message from the book is, it's your story, Koshi, and your story is based on the luck that came your way, the skills that you had, and the leap you were willing to take, right? That combination. And for anybody reading the book, they may have a different skill set. They may take a different leap, and they may take it at a different phase in their life. Maybe a lot sooner than you did, or maybe a lot later than you did.
Later, yeah.
And ultimately, it's empowering people to say, look, guys, like I did this. This is doable.
Think different.
Think different, have the belief, and go for it. Like nothing ever came from staying in your comfort zone, right? Like what good ever comes out of that, right? So, but it's hard said and done. I'm in trouble with David. He set me a goal for last weekend, and I'm still running late on that. So,
there's still time. There's still time.
Just my presence here was a reminder. My work is done. Okay.
I looked at that and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna see David. He's gonna give me the eyebrow, and then. But the point being, we're all succeeding and pushing and probably failing at different things in our lives. And if we're not doing that, then we're not growing, right? If anybody says I'm succeeding at everything, I have no challenges, I never fail at anything, I don't need any help, boy, you're not growing, right? So I think it's a delicate balance of, but I think the reality is, like, I don't know, I shouldn't be saying, but the NHS system is underfunded and under rewarding doctors for their efforts. I think you guys know it better than anyone. When I was in London, I saw the picket lines, and if the government is not going to fix the compensation, you guys have to take it onto your hands to make a living that is similar to what radiologists are doing in other countries like England, right? And like the NHS salary should be a starting point, not the end point.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So.
And the NHS could be fixed if people followed our system more, especially for radiology. Radiology is one of the big bottlenecks at the moment. It is, but also just creating systems to help patients. I mean, there is one positive thing coming out, is that the government has decided to really roll out a digital NHS, and hopefully they won't make a mess of it. And if they do that, then they will have a digital hospital which people can get through the system faster, get answers, and AI is incredibly good for medicine. It's incredibly good for medicine. Very positive. All you need is someone who's a specialist to just approve it. Approve a report. For example, a friend of mine sent me a report yesterday of a ureteric stone in the mid right ureter. I put the report in ChatGPT and said, how do I treat this? And then he said that they had told him that he has to put a stent. I looked into ChatGPT, came up with a list of suggestions, and it didn't need to be a stent at the first instance. He was living in India where they try and make money out of everybody. And he could then go back and say, no, I'd like to try this first, So the AI revolution is coming let's embrace it. Let's use it to make ourselves a good career, but also to help a lot of people, help a lot of patients.
But as AI comes into our dictation and increases our turnaround time, be prepared to read a lot faster. Remember what that guy said? 5x productivity in 5 to 6 years is what the AI CEOs are predicting. Now, of course, like they have vested interest, right? They're going to say that, but
yes, but I believe that AI would slow a lot of us down because it will be more detail than
it's
we
hard to
normally
screen.
report.
It's hard to screen when you have so much
hard to
information.
screen.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of information, but we will find the solution to all those problems together, and I've always been one who believes in innovation. There will be systems that you can put that sort of suggestion through and say, tell me what's the clinically important things based on this clinical presentation, and AI is amazing at cutting it down as well. So we just have to learn how to use AI. So I'm really looking forward to this whole thing.
I'd like to make a final point, Koshi.
Yes.
So, and I think that's exactly to bring it full circle back to sustainability. As you go into these, where there's so many options out there, and also your ambition is high, that's exactly the reason where you need to have quality time, to slow down, and to choose the vital few from the trivial many, because there's so much going on there. And some of our best calls on our practice radiology, where people have opened up where they are, where they're at, and that slowing down has helped them to just cut away a lot of nonsense. And that is the ability which I think community really helps with, just slowing down and focusing on the important stuff, which it could be family, things like that, which we can easily get lost in the rat race, keeping up with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I think leisure time is the ultimate luxury.
Yeah. Time is what we are fighting for, and we
time
mustn't lose track of that. Yeah.
The only thing which doesn't grow. Yes, it's a nice constant.
Yeah. So with that, I'd like to just thank everyone for coming, and those of you who are listening, please remember we're looking forward to a fantastic day together on the 9th of January. Puneet, we are running a one-day quick start on the 9th of January, showing people how to report effectively and get started straight away.
And a great way to start 2026. So quick start will be a great way.
Yeah.
Which is not so far away now.
So thank you all very much. And Puneet, look forward to talking to you soon as well.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Yeah, better late than never.
Thank you.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you,
guys.
Yojit. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.